Across the world, one trend continues to reshape the international security landscape: the growing proliferation of weapons to non-state actors and criminal groups. According to the UN Deputy High Representative for Disarmament Affairs, the proliferation of small arms and light weapons continues to fuel conflict, organized crime, and terrorism around the world. There are more than 1 billion firearms in circulation worldwide. Their continued spread is both a symptom and a contributing factor to the multiple security crises we face. This shift is blurring the lines between traditional conflict, organized crime, and everyday insecurity. Today, weapons no longer move only through state-to-state transfers. They increasingly flow through illicit networks, smuggled across borders, diverted from national stockpiles, or purchased through corrupt or weakly regulated markets. In some cases, they are diverted through corrupted national structures, which calls for an increased arms and ammunition management. These arms end up in the hands of gangs, cartels, militias, and non-state armed groups, and once they are circulating, they are incredibly hard to track or remove. This is not just a great insecurity issue. It affects communities at the most basic level. It fuels violence, undermines trust in institutions, and shapes how safe people feel in their own homes. According to data from the UN Human Rights Office, 48,000 civilians died in 2024 from causes related to armed conflict, a 40% increase over the previous year. In some cases, up to 30% of these deaths were caused by small arms. And even more worrying, 88% of cases of sexual violence in conflicts documented between 2022 and 2024 involve the use of weapons. If current trends continue, 2026 could see an expansion of these illicit flows, driven by ongoing political instability, new conflict zones, growing online arms markets, and the spread of low-cost technologies or techniques like handcrafted arms. Criminal groups will likely adopt more sophisticated tools, blending conventional weapons with emerging technologies, making them more resilient and harder to deter. The world is moving fast, and we need to keep up in understanding security issues at the pace of innovation. But this trajectory isn't inevitable. What can be done? First, countries must strengthen controls around stockpile management and arms transfers, closing the gaps that allow diversion. Second, cooperation between states, law enforcement agencies, and international mechanisms need to deepen. Information sharing, tracing, and joint investigations are essential. Third, the inclusion of the private sector in decision-making processes is crucial to build trenches from different viewpoints. Fourth, investments in community-level violence prevention and in economic alternatives help reduce the social conditions that fuel demand for illicit weapons. Finally, analyzing and dealing with arms-related issues in a more sociological manner will be crucial to understand the symbolic burden arms carry out, especially within organized crime such as gangs, cartels, and non-state armed groups. At the end of the day, arms proliferation to non-state actors is not an abstract, faraway issue. It determines whether young people feel safe walking to school. It shapes whether communities can trust authorities and influences whether countries can build stable economies, attract investment, and sustain peace. When arms move without control, violence becomes easier and recovery becomes harder. By tightening arms controls, improving cooperation, and addressing the root drivers of instability, including sociological roots, we can prevent weapons from ending up where they do not belong. And by doing so, we protect societies, strengthen institutions, and build the foundations for enhanced public policy. The choices we make today will define the security of our communities tomorrow. 2026 is approaching fast, and the time to be aware and take action is now.